Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to our coffee times to talk about horror. And today, you know the drill, I have a list of the upcoming books for the month of December.
It's coffee time.
So December was a month where there were slim pickings when it comes to horror, similar to November. So I had to add a couple of mystery thrillers. I tried so hard to find horror releases, but for some reason, December, they're like, absolutely not. October is over, you're done. So I have a list of a total of 16 books, which I guess it's good, guys, right? Because then our TBR piles and our cards are not gonna be so full, right? Towards the end of the year. Because I know these videos, I know you guys love these videos, but I also know that a lot of you end up spending some money, and I'm sorry. But let's talk about the 16 books that I have on my list. The first one is actually a horror novella, and it is called Liminal Lives by Jenny Tupin. Evelyn's life as she knows it is over. All it took was a bite from a zombie. Now she has fully turned into a zombie and she craves flesh, but still Evelyn is not like the other zombies. She remembers and recognizes her own children. However, she still has the impulse to hunt them. Will Evelyn be able to protect her children from all the other zombies and from herself? We shall see. Moving on to a mystery thriller, we have The Survivors by Caroline Mitchell. A fatal car crash and only one eyewitness, but is she telling the truth? On the cliff edge on a road in Ireland, we have two women that are driving with their cars and they end up on a car crash. They end up crashing against each other. One of them has the baby daughter with her, the other one has a newborn. Both of the women survive, but not both of their babies do. After the crash, both women are a little bit unsure of what happened. They have some sort of trauma. They're trying to move on with their lives as you would. But one of them is determined to figure out what happened because she believes that during the crash and everything that happened that day, she has been lied to. It feels like this one is going to be a domestic thriller, so if that's what you like, and also if you like a setting more on the coast of Ireland, a little bit more different and a little bit more eerie, this one might be for you. The next book is adult horror and it's called Night of the Long Knives by Tyler Jones. And this world is turned upside down. But after this happens, he decides to focus all his anger and all his energy to create videos about crimes. These are all videos about his own investigations and crimes and senseless deaths, and he's trying to find to make sense of all of these. As he's creating all of this content about investigations and about crimes and all of that, he develops a fan base, and one of his fans contacts him and he wants to involve him in his family. They are kind of art collectors, and there is something that they want him to find, which is a knife that was used by a serial killer. Next we have a horror thriller. We have Bellevue by Robin Cook. We follow 24-year-old Michael Fuller, and he comes from a family of doctors, so it is expected from him to also be one, and he ends up getting a spot at a very prestigious hospital. He felt all his life that he had a sixth sense. Now, when he starts working in the hospital, something really curious happened, and that is that every patient that is assigned to him ends up dying. At the beginning, he thinks, okay, I'm just having bad luck. But as people keep dying, he realizes that there might be something else going on. Next, we have a YA thriller. It is called We Did Nothing Wrong by Hannah Jane. Leah and Diana are the it girls at their high school and they're very popular. Everything is going great until Diana mysteriously disappears. Everyone thinks that Diana is a runaway, that she just left home because she just wanted to start a new life somewhere else, but her bestie knows that is not true. She goes to the street where Diana disappeared, where she was last seen, and she finds a rose on the floor with a little note that says "you." And it is the same type of ribbon and note that Leah already received from a secret admirer. So what's going on, and where actually is Diana? We go back to mystery thrillers and we have The House Swap by Miranda Riggs. Two families decide to organize a home swap for the holidays, and it all seemed perfect and convenient until it wasn't. One of the families lives in London and the other one lives in France, so they decide to swap the homes for the holidays. Everything sounds great until it isn't, because both families are experiencing something really unsettling. The family that goes to London, for example, their son Raphael disappears mysteriously, and there's also a lot of dark secrets that they're gonna find, the family that is currently in France. So another one that is, by the looks of it, by the way it sounds, a domestic thriller. We go back to adult horror and we have All Your Friends Are Here by M. Shaw. This one is a compilation of short stories that go from gods to vampires to anything that goes bump in the night. The next one is one that I am extremely excited about, and it is called Summer of the Monsters by David Sodergren. If you don't know, I'm obsessed with David Sodergren and his works, so this is a blessing. He announced this release not that long ago on Instagram, and I'm like, absolutely, at least one amazing present before the year ends. We follow 16-year-old Lucy, and she always believed that monsters are not real. That is, until she had to move with her dad to a almost like abandoned barn because they don't have money, they're trying to survive, and they decide to move there to recover financially. Lucy feels like her life is over. She had to move to this isolated place. She doesn't have her friends there. She doesn't have like any life whatsoever in that place. But also the people that left the barn, the people that were living there before them, they left everything behind. Why were they in such a rush? And also, why can she hear screams in the middle of the night? Going back to YA horror, we have What the Woods Took by Courtney Gold. This follows troubled teens in a wilderness program, and they're probably gonna get lost, and we all know how that works, but this sounds like it's potentially going to be a survival horror in nature. Teenagers are being taken from their bedrooms and they are being taken to a camp. It is kind of like a camp where they are still experimenting, and it is supposed to be therapy for troubled teenagers. So everything is still kind of, yeah, they're just testing it. But the teenagers have been enrolled and they are taken into the middle of nowhere. Fun. One day the campers wake up and they realize that the counselors are missing. So who can you trust? Who can you not trust? Where are the counselors? Is it something that came from the woods? Or is it a human evil that is sitting among them? Next we have more adult short horror stories, and the book is called The Horror That Represents You, and it has been edited by S.D. Vassallo. And this book focuses on the different types and ways that people can get scared. We all react at a very different level to things. We have different emotional responses. We get scared by completely different things. So these are 24 stories that explore the origin of horror and what is horrifying to different people. The next book is a publication of a book that was originally published in Spanish, and now it's finally getting the English translated release. It is a horror book called No Place to Bury the Dead by Karina Sainz Borgo. We are in Latin America and there is some sort of virus spreading, and what it does is it deletes your memories. So it talks about this plague that is spreading and a mother that is losing her children. We talk about gangs, about different people and how they are affected by this plague. It's a story about resilience, about fighting, about trying to survive, and also how in situations like this, sometimes even the people that are living in the same reality, they can still fight against each other instead of working together to fix it. We go back to YA because we have another YA thriller, and this one is called Assume Nothing by Joshua Corin. Kat loves criminology. She's obsessed with it. She has consumed every book about crimes and whodunits, and she is totally obsessed with that. She also has been reading a lot of novels that are based on crimes, and she ends up getting an offer to help someone to solve a crime. But will she be able to realize that it's not just about solving a crime, but trying to actually save herself? Will she be able to solve the case before it's too late? December comes full of YA releases, which I'm all here for. And we have another YA horror. It is called We Are the Beasts by Gigi Griffiths. There is a series of brutal, mysterious plague of murders on the countryside in France, and the people that live there actually believe that it is a punishment from the gods. But there are two 16-year-old girls that are very excited about this because they have been waiting for any type of excuse to get out of this town. They hate it here, they hate their families, they just want out. So they were like, you know what, if there is somebody killing all of these people, we might be able to fake our own deaths and then just leave. But of course, what happens if by trying to fake your own death, you put yourself in danger to the point where maybe your death is not even faked? And we have another YA thriller. We have Blood Gone Cold by Katie Grant. This novel is written in verse, and it follows a family that are spending some holiday time together at a cabin. But the two sisters, who used to be really good friends, have drifted apart through the years and now actually kind of hate each other, and they keep bickering and fighting, and the parents decide to teach them a lesson, so they decide to leave their daughters alone in the cabin to figure it out. However, when the girls are left alone, not long after, two men come to the cabin, and now the sisters are in danger. Will they be able to trust each other to survive, to fight back? The next one is a mystery thriller called Watch Your Back by Terry Parlato. This is a domestic thriller, and we follow a family that they think they've, found each other through very interesting accidents in life. That's how they met. That's how they were able to start a life together. So for them, accidents have been actually good and have had good consequences. Now they have moved to a new house. They have a beautiful daughter, and everything seems to be perfect. But now Eve is very stressed at work. There's a lot of changes going on at work, and there is a break-in at a house next to them that it's empty. So now a lot of accidents are happening, but now they seem to be bad, and a detective is investigating because they don't know if they are targeting Eve and her family, and that's why they got so close and did the breaking in the house next to them. So this is going to be another domestic thriller. There is a lot of those coming out in the month of December. And the last book is a horror historical gothic fiction, and it's called The Resurrectionist by A. Ray Dunlap. This is a twisty gothic novel set in the 19th century in Scotland. We follow two real-life serial killers, but we also follow a medic student that gets involved in the illicit business of body snatching. This sounds fantastic because on the one side we have true crime, real serial killers, and it is a team of two serial killers. And on the other hand, we have this student that is studying to be a surgeon, I believe. And then he goes down, I guess, a dark path and gets into body snatching. I guess maybe he needs to practice on cadavers. I don't know, but this sounds like a really intriguing book for me, and it's supposed to be something similar to like the vibe that The Alienist has. So I'm really intrigued. And these were, you guys, the 16 books that are coming out in the month of December that I wanted to talk to you about. Let me know down below if you know of any other ones that are coming out in December that I did not mention. I hope that you found in this list something that sounds interesting to you. If you want to support me in the channel, please consider joining my Patreon. The link is down below. Thank you guys as always so much for watching, and I hope to see you all as always in our next coffee time. Bye!